Hi everyone, welcome to Bonsai Northwest's virtual exhibition for 2020. Unfortunately, with the COVID-19 virus happening all around the world and in Melbourne, and Melbourne being in lockdown and the rest of Australia is locked down as well, we had no choice but to cancel our exhibition that was coming up on the 2nd and 3rd of May this year. So we have decided as a club to run a virtual exhibition for everyone. Now what this means is our members, it will be a member exhibition, and we'll be showing member trees throughout these videos. We're going to do a multi-part series of videos because we don't want to keep it so long, but we're going to have members showing and talking about their trees and the journey their trees have gone on. As president of Bonsai Northwest, I'm very grateful and very happy that we can still bring some content to our members when they're locked away. And this is our take on an exhibition in this day and age, being online, being all around the world. It'd be great to share with you stories of our trees and how they've come about. So let's kick it off, guys, and I'll start with kicking off with this trident maple root over rock. Now, you've seen my videos if you've been following my channel for a while, but it's one of my favourite trees in my collection for very good reasons. You can see the size of it. I probably acquired this tree back in I think 2007. It used to belong to the president back then, Brad Smith, many years ago. And before that, it was a Ron Anderson tree, and Ron Anderson is a very probably one of the inaugural people in bonsai in Melbourne and Australia. One of the first ones to actually bring trees back from Japan as well. I'm not sure if this tree was from Japan. I can't remember the exact story. But I know it's featured in a magazine, in a book, an Australian book as well. I do have the photo somewhere, and hopefully I can find it. And if I do, it will be in this video, just to show you how far it's come along. It's in an Australian, very skinny book, but it's quite a nice tree, and it shows you the difference in it's gone through. So this tree is in a Japanese container, beautiful green container. I really like it. It's a really full canopy. Starting to go amazing, it's starting to look really good, filled out, just nice and healthy. It's starting to go into autumn now, so you see some of the leaves are starting to turn a little bit. One of those brown leaves are because of the birch tree above it that's dropped some leaves, but I love this tree. It's one of my favourites, probably very close to the favourite in my collection for good reasons. But yeah, it's a great tree. So I've kicked it off with the first tree in the collection, and here's some more members showing you some more trees in their collection. So I hope you guys enjoy Bonsai Northwest virtual tour. It'll be a multi-part series, kicking off with the first one now. I don't know how many parts there'll be, but hopefully we'll have lots of them and lots of members contributing, and I'll be in contact with all those members to ask for videos in the coming days and weeks, and we can share with the rest of Australia and the world whilst we lock down a virtual exhibition of Bonsai Northwest trees. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for more members with their trees.
This bonsai is a Leptospermum angiorum, Granville spreader or woolly tea tree. It was purchased in 2016 as nursery stock in Tasmania from Will Fletcher's nursery, where it had been pruned regularly by the roaming wallabies. I have workshopped with Hugh Grant from Tree Makers twice, and regularly worked on it at club workshops and at home. The pot was purchased from Marg Fenn, one of our leading Australian bonsai potters. It has small white flowers. Its common name derives from the conspicuously hairy capsules produced as fruit, along with the fine silky hairs present on branches and leaves. Thank you.
This is my trident maple group, which I bought these little trees as tube stock in 2015. When I bought them, they were about a little bit thicker than this toothpick. As you can see, they've grown quite a bit since then. And I grew them in squat pots, the orchid squat pots, and grew them in those pots for about 4 years. Then in 2019 I repotted them into this little pot. I think it needs a little bit of work. probably a bit of wiring, a bit more trimming, but I'm getting there. Probably a few more workshops will get me there, but I think I'm happy with the way that they've grown and the trunks have thickened. So it's 2020 and I'm hoping they'll look better by 2025.
This is my ficus, which I came across 12 months ago, struggling to survive on my neighbour's terrace. It was sitting in a large 12-inch terracotta pot in direct westerly sunlight. It goes without saying that it was very woody, with hardly any leaves to speak of, due to the soil not being refreshed since it was put in the original pot some 10 years ago. I can add that it was twice the size you see today. When I offered to take it off their hands, they gladly gave it to me. Whoopee. The first thing I did was to severely trim the roots. Yes, you guessed it, it was completely root bound, with some roots, after teasing, being longer than the actual height of the tree. I next loped some 2 feet off the 3 large vertical branches that you see. Then, using fresh bonsai soil, place it into its current training pot, which by the way is 1/3 the size of its original pot. Last task was to feed it with sea soil and thrive liquid fertilizer over the ensuing next 6 months. Bingo, it took off, and within 2 months, albeit large leaves, soon covered the entire canopy, so much so that you couldn't see this beautiful trunk. During spring and summer, it was defoliated on 3 occasions, and during the growing period, I started to shape the canopy by removing most of its new lateral branches. First stage of wiring took place in late summer to shape the canopy as you see it today. Many more wiring stages will definitely need to come as the new branches thicken. The next major task will be in spring 2021, when the tree will be transplanted from its current training pot into a very shallow oval glazed pot of around 50 millimeters in height, and hopefully with further defoliating over the next 2 to 3 years it will produce much smaller leaves, and maybe, just maybe, after attending as many Bonsai Northwest meetings in the next couple of years, my rescue tree will become worthy of showing.
My Kunzea ambigua, common names of poverty bush or the tick bush. It's about 50 years old. It was collected from New South Wales and the Central Coast back in 2018 during winter. Initially styled by Matt Hudson under the guidance of Hugh Grant. Had a restyling done late last year and was recently repotted into this about 3 weeks ago, and this is its current setup.
Hello everyone, this is my Contoniester, which I bought some years ago from Mark Ludlam. I've actually neglected it for a long time because of my overseas travel, but recently I have had help from Quinton. The branches, because I've parked it under a big tree over here, it had long branches, but it needed a lot more foliage. Therefore Quinton has advised me actually to put it in the full sun. This is the real front, but also I think the pot is a little bit too big, and therefore I need some more advice about the pot. I'm thinking about this one over here, but I will see what comes out. Thank you.
Hi, this is a Trident maple purchased in Japan in February 1999. It's purchased at the Kokofu exhibition sales area. When it was first purchased, the tree was only around this height. I've grown it up a little bit. I thought the tree should be a little bit higher. Got a lovely base. It's very difficult to find a pot for it because of the size of the base. It's got a very nice flare that I continually try to work the roots out to increase that nabari. About 5 or 6 years ago I had a problem, had a bad season where I lost the branch. So subsequently I thread graft a branch out of here that died the following year, and this branch. So you can see that although it's a thick trunk, thread grafting will still work. I particularly like the tree this time of year. It's just starting to clear up. It's the end of March and just starting to colour up now. You can see that I probably haven't rotated this tree enough. It's a little bit imbalanced with the leaf growth. It's important to rotate our trees to get even growth around the tree. Time to get some moss off the trunk. I'll get a toothbrush onto that later, just to clean that trunk up.
This is my Hinoki cypress. It's about 5 years old. It started its life as nursery stock from Bunnings. It's in the Shohin category. It's about 15 centimetres from the base of the tree to the top. Over the next few years I'll just be working on getting more and more definition of the pads.
This olive is about 14 years old. It was dug out in 2006 by a Bonsai Northwest member. He grew it on in a black pot for about 4 years and then 1 year in the pot that it's currently in. I purchased it in 2011 at one of our shows. I've kept it fed and trimmed, which is a pretty good achievement, I think. And in 2019, it was subject to a critique, and I was encouraged to move it to the left a bit more and bring it a little bit more forward. Originally, it was sitting further along here. It's got quite a nice bit of detail here, and I'm not sure if I need to bring it a little bit more forward. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, and hopefully maybe with a little bit more work it may become an even better tree. Thank you.
Hey everyone, this is a Shohin size coastal tea tree I've been developing for the last couple of years. When I picked it up it was mainly just the trunk line. It has quite a bit of movement through it. Since then I've continued to try to replicate that through the branching that I've chosen. At the start it had branches going in every direction. I've decided to go with the windswept style. I think the tree naturally lends itself towards that. I've got a sub branch at the back that sort of creates a bit of depth. I'm going to need to thin out the foliage a bit. Here it is spun around. It's in a larger pot than I'd want at the moment. It was only just recently repotted. Next season it'll come into a pot about this size, probably this exact pot. We'll see how it goes from there. Thank you all for watching.
This is a Trident maple that I've had for quite a few years. It started off as just a stump, a stump, pretty much, tree stump. No branches, and I built those branches over time to create this full canopy Trident maple. They're starting to change colour in autumn, starting to give me really nice colours. You can see some of the inside is still green, but on the outside nice and red, starting to fill out really well with autumn colours. This tree was picked up at a sales day in early 2000s at a club somewhere where a deceased owner was selling up someone was selling up deceased owner's trees, and this is one of the trees I managed to pick up. His name was Kerry, so I'm sure some of you might remember Kerry. I think Steve Jarrett knows him and a few others. So this was just a stump at that time, and I've got this tree and I've started to develop it over those years. There you go.